Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ichsan Al Hafiz, and then in this occasion I would like to present my discussion about my friend's assignment, and this is about paraphrase assignment. And here I found 14 mistakes, and I think it's not big mistakes, but yeah, it's many enough. Okay, the first one is becomes international language. As we know, language there is a singular, so it's singular. We have to use article and. Okay, so it will becomes an international language. But here, Adlistawa or the writer didn't use it. Didn't put article and also international, like I said in summary in the previous video, that international usually started with capital alphabet. International, so I must be capital alphabet. And then we go to the next mistakes. This is the language use. The language use, as we know, the language is a thing. Okay, it's impossible language can use something, so it's not logic. It's not logic sentence. So that's why we have to use passive voice to make the sentence become logic. So it will become the language is used. So this is the true one. And then we go to the next, for the daily communication. For the daily communication, we may not use article the for daily communications, because as we know, the only for the one thing in this world, like the man, the sun, the moon, the sun, the sea river, or something like that. And also in one of our subject is speaking for daily communication, not speaking for the daily communications. So that's why we have to remove article the in this sentence. And then, for example, to education. Why this is wrong? Because as we know, education is a noun, so we should not use to before education. If we want to use to in our sentence, it means that we have to change education become educate. But if we want to, but it's better for us to remove to. Why I say like that? Because yeah, for example, education, employment, because it's what we call, yeah, it's logic, because we should not use to before noun. For example, before noun, actually we may use to before noun, but in this context it's not logic. Okay, for example, to education, it's not logic, but for example, to educate, yeah, it's clear, it's true, but here it's not true. So the true one is remove word to or change education become educate. Okay, and then in the traveling, it's true, but it's not logic. I mean, it's logic, but it's not economic. As we know, this is a written language, so we try to economize our sentence as good as possible. So in traveling, it's enough. Why we should add word the after in? Because as we know, in traveling is enough, right? So try to economize our written language to make our reader can easier understand our content. And then, or elective in school. As we know, this is adverb of place, and in adverb of place we should use article the. So in the school, this is adverb of place. So that's why we have to add word the. And then between academic writing and others personal, others refers to the plural thing. And then as we know, between is same, like has a meaning like among, but has different function. Between is a thing that that's only two things near them. For example, A B. For example, A B. But for among, it's more than two. For example, A B C D. So the thing is surrounded by many things. So in this case, it's better for us to, we have to use among, because others is plural, so that's why we have to use among. And then writing or depend. Depend is a verb, so we have to remove or, because this is a verbal sentence of simple present tense. So we should not use to be before depend. And then paper is not tell. This is also verbal sentence of simple present tense, because your paper is a subject and then tell is a verb. And in verbal sentence we may not use to be, such as is MR, but we may use helping verb for negative or interrogative sentence. For example, the paper does not. So the true one is your project paper does not tell. So this is the true one, because tell is verb 1. If we still want to use tell, to use to be is MR, it means we have to use verb 3 for word tell become told. For example, your writing paper is not told, something like that. But in this context, it's not logic if we use passive voice. It's better for us to use active voice. And then in addition, after full stop, we must use capital alphabet. For example, in addition, so in I must be changed and become capital alphabet. And then material, ideas or material. Ideas are plural, but material is singular. It's not true, because material have follow ideas, because they are same, right? Ideas or materials. So materials must be plural too. And then get the job. As we know, job is a noun. Job is a noun, and this job here is a singular. So actually we have to use article a job, to get a job, something like that. And then what else? And the last is your right is good. Your right is good. As we know, your is possessive. Possessive means ownership. If we tell about ownership, it means it will refer to the noun, and right is a verb. So we have to change first right become a noun. So the noun of right is writing. So the true one is make your writing is good. Okay, I think that's all about my result or my discussion about these assignments, and I do apologize for all of my mistake. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, before I close these presentations, actually I forget I forgot to explain the another mistake. Okay, we see the last writing. As we know, the last is not economic. I mean, usually we may use this word for spoken language, but for written language, it's not economic. So as a writer, actually, we just make and writing. It's enough. We should not add the last, because and refer to the last word. So why we should add the last? It's not economic. Okay, and then you are as the learners. You are as the learners. This is simple present tense nominal sentence. So that's why we have to put to be are, because the subject is you. Okay, so that's why the true one is you are as the learners. So I think that's all from me. I do apologize. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.